Good afternoon if you're tuning in from the East Coast. This is Antoine Wright from Mobile Ministry Magazine coming at you with March's Videocast. Now, I didn't want to spend too much time today talking about too many items. I actually got to get to my other gig, the YMCA, so I'll walk over there for a little bit. But in the meanwhile, I did want to put some things out there, point to a few things that seem to make a lot of sense and, should really prepare us for a very intriguing rest of the year forward. Now, the first thing that I want to point out to you is, that the International Conference of Computing and Mission, so ICCM, this year I was privileged to be part of the committee, but things fell through with some of the leaderships and the planning where we had to just move some things around. So this year we canceled the conference that was going on that was going to be in Snow Mountain and Colorado Springs for this year. We're going to go have it next year. And in the meantime, ICCM is going to have some mini regional ICCMs. So we've got one happening in the Southeast United States. We got one going on that's perspective for the Midwest. And we got another that's slated to happen in Philadelphia. All of these are slated to happen in the month of June. The only one that's got a date locked on right now is ICCM Mini in Philadelphia. That one's coming around June the 21st or so, something of that sort. Go to iccm.org or us.iccm.org for more information. Now, if you're going to be in Australia in the fall, October, November time of year, or if you're going to be in Europe during February, you can visit ICCM in those areas and those regions as well. Lord willing, I'll be in the one in Australia this year. I'm hoping to make my first trip out there to really enjoy and see what Loft Down Under looks like. All right. So the second thing I want to point out to you guys, is that I got me a new toy. Boom. The Samsung GearS. Now that might not read right now that I think about it. Now that I'm looking at it. But the Samsung GearS is a smartwatch. And it's a smartwatch in the sense of it's not like the Apple Watch that you've seen or some of the Android watches that you've seen. But it's a smartwatch in the sense that it's a whole complete phone. So taking it back to my childhood when I used to watch Dick Tracy and he would go calling such and such, calling such and such. That's the aim that he was going for, that the Gear goes for. Now the Gear is supposed to be used with a Galaxy phone. But per my usual experiments, I'm going to see what it looks like to rock with the Samsung Gear as my only phone. That means that the phones that I'm talking to you on, my Nexus 5, this is my homegrown, my usual Nexus 5, and then I'm videotaping with the other one now, videotaping. We don't even say videotaping. I'm meerkatting, periscoping with those items. We'll be taking advantage of using the GearS as my only smart device, and then be going alongside of that with my tablet, wherever she is. There's it. Bam. Apple iPad Mini 3. Now you might ask, what kind of sense does that make? There's a few things in terms of wearables that I am paying attention to. There's some things in terms of Tizen. Tizen is one of Samsung's homegrown or mostly homegrown operating systems. It can trace its lineage back through Migo and Mimo from Nokia's days, and even back further than that to Tizen and their Revo. It's really going to be interesting to me to see where that platform is right now. Now, granted, this device is about 8 months old. Everybody else has already done their reviews already. So I'm very late on this scene as usual, but per usual, I purchase things out of my own pocket. So it takes a little bit longer for me to get those reviews. And hopefully this is not something I'm going to feel like I'm going to get rid of in a week's time, like I did with the Pebble Watch. Now, I do wear a watch right now, the Polar M400. Now, the Polar M400 is a fitness tracker, activity tracker, and I've gotten back used to this idea of having something on my wrist, which is why I think the GearS makes a lot of sense. Now, you might say, this is a mobile ministry videocast. What does wearable technology, specifically one where I'm not going to be pulling up Bible verses or reading the text, so what does that have to do with mobile ministry? Well, I think part of mobile, or at least part of the mobile that we should pay attention to, is the effects of this technology, and then what happens when technology kind of fades into the background, when it becomes fashionable, when it becomes utilitarian, when it's something that we don't have to pay as much attention to on a regular basis. I think in those cases that the technology makes a whole lot of good sense. And that's why I'm pointing out, in this episode that you want to pay attention to the International Conference of Computing and Mission. The things that those folks in that conference do in terms of enabling people to meet God happens in the context of their day-to-day life. It's not because you just gave them a scripture verse with a Bible on it, or with a phone on it. It's not just you gave them an SD card, but it's something that fits into the context of their life. And now faith lived is something that happens as a part of everyday things, and the tools just happen to facilitate how you get closer to God, how you improve the life of your community, how you love one another with everything you got. So looking forward to my perspectives of that. I know you may be looking forward to those as well. I'm very, very well knowledgeable that there's a lot of things that we don't cover on Mobile Ministry Magazine. There's some things that we should be covering, and I really want to hear from you as to what we should be covering or what else to go for. Now, I know there's only a few of you that tune into the Videocast. That's why I try to keep these a little bit short. But if there's something more that you want, definitely add a comment to this video or check me out, mobileministrymagazine.com. You can also log in on Twitter, Mobmin Mag, or even on the same one, Mobmin Mag on Pinterest. Jump on all of those items. We're there. Now, one thing I do want to say in addition to all of that is that there's a Theotech podcast every Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Kevin Purcell, myself, Wes Allen, and a few guests always show up to talk about what's happening in church technology. The last one we talked about Accordance Mobile, really good advancements happening there. I'm getting flashbacks of Bible Plus when I was looking at it. It was really kind of crazy and bananas. But I really think you should pay attention to those kind of podcasts and look at all of the other things that are happening in this faith-based space. We got this week, as a matter of fact, today or tomorrow, we've got event happening in Virginia Beach. We got another event that's going to be happening on the other side of the world later this week. Check out the Mobile Ministry event calendar. All of those items are there. If I'm missing anything on that calendar, feel free to poke me, and I'll make sure to get there the next time. Until then, may you have a blessed holiday weekend. Jesus is risen, so please do not praise the cross. Praise the fact that he moved the stone. Peace.